सत श्री अकाल मेरा नाम है सरबदीप कौर परमार एक्चुअली मैं बोर्न हुई सी है सरबदीप कौर परमार आफ्टर मैरिज नेम चेंज हो गया टू सरबदीप कौर जौहल मेरा जन्म पंजाब ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਪਿੰਡ ਕਾਲਡ ਪਾਂਚਟਾ ਇਹ ਪਾਂਚਟਾ ਫਗਵਾੜੇ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੈ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਵੱਡਾ ਪਿੰਡ ਹੈ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਛੋਟੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਗ੍ਰੈਂਡਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਆਏ ਹੋਏ ਸਨ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ 5 ਮੇਰੀ 6 ਸਿਬਲਿੰਗਸ ਹਨ ਮੇਰੀਆਂ 4 ਭੈਣਾਂ ਹਨ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਭਰਾ ਹੈ मैं एक फैमिली ਵਿੱਚ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋਈ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਐਜੂਕੇਟਿਡ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਸੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਦਾਦਾ ਜੀ ਪ੍ਰਿੰਸੀਪਲ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਪਿੰਡ ਦੇ ਸਕੂਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੇਰੀ ਡੈਡ ਜੀ ਟੀਚਰ ਸਨ ਅਧਿਆਪਕ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਤਾ ਜੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਮੰਮੀ ਜੀ ਜੋ ਹਨ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਅਧਿਆਪਕ ਸਨ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਛੋਟੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੱਡੀ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਸਾਂ ਅਬਾਊਟ 5 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਉਮਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਨੋਟਿਸ ਕਰਨਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਮੰਮਾ ਦਾ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਛੋਟੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਾਜ਼ਾਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਤੁਰਦੇ ਫਿਰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਬਾਹਰ ਘਰੋਂ ਤੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੈਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਛੂਹਣਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਬਲੈਸਿੰਗਸ ਲੈਣੀਆਂ ਜਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਆਈ ਰਿਮੈਂਬਰ ਐਨ ਇਨਸੀਡੈਂਟ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਮਮਾ ਨਾਲ ਕਿਤੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਗਈ ਹੋਈ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਇੱਕ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਆਇਆ ਉਹਨੇ ਪੱਗ ਬੰਨੀ ਹੋਈ ਸੀ ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਡਿਡਨਟ ਨੋ ਹੂ ਹੀ ਵਾਸ ਮੈਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਛੋਟੀ ਸੀ ਤਾਂ ਆਲ ਆਈ ਨੋ ਇਜ਼ ਉਹ ਮਮਾ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਉਹਨੇ ਮਮਾ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ ਬੁਲਾਇਆ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਕੀਤਾ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਫॉर ਟੀਚਿੰਗ ਮੀ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੰਗਾ ਵਿਦਿਆਰਥੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਤੰਗ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਪਰ ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਟੀਚਿੰਗਸ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਅੱਜ ਮੈਂ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਸਕਸੈਸਫੁਲ ਮੈਨ ਹਾਂ तो just that relationship between my mom and that student even though at that time ਮੈਨੂੰ concept ਬਾਰੇ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਕਿ student teacher what is that but just that connection and that happiness on his face stayed with me and that pride in my mom's face stayed with me for longer periods of times like as I grew up in between I lost my daddy G so that was like a year before I was 4 when I lost my daddy G but at 5 I still had no idea that my daddy G had passed away because my mom kept telling me he's in Canada or he's abroad because growing up I was very emotional and attached child really curious child I would ask questions that would like make my family members cry or I would ask questions out of this world as my mom says so as I, kind of found out, my dad is no longer in this world, I wanted to be more, like my dream of being an educator grew more as a child. I wanted to make a difference. मैं चाहती सी कि मैं दूसरों की ज़िंदगी विच, एक impact बनाना in a positive way growing up. So उठो मेरा छोटा जैसा सपना पैदा हुआ है कि मैं अध्यापक बनना है. And I was I think 5 years old, 5 to 6 years old. So ਮੰਮੀ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਰੇਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਕੱਲਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਗ੍ਰੈਂਡਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਆਏ ਹੋਏ ਸਨ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ that's all I knew ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਦਾਦਾ ਦਾਦੀ ਜੀ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਹਨ and I didn't know what Canada was. I grew up in a public Punjabi school. Education was very limited. Just you knew what you were taught just about your surroundings and just very basic language, basic terminology. Then my older sister got married. She came to Canada. That's how we kind of got a chance to, immigrate to Canada with our family. So all of us siblings came with our mom. We did not want to come to Canada because मेरा सपना था कि मैं teacher बनना and coming to Canada meant like now what the whole world will shift. How will I ever become a teacher? How will I ever be able to make that difference that I see my mom making or my daddy G made that difference, So I was crying, my sisters were crying, my brother was crying. My mom was happy. She was smiling because she was like, I'm going to go to Canada and my kids will be given to the family and then they can take care, they can help us we'll raise them together. So through my journey Canada ਵਿੱਚ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਈ in 1994. I was 14 years old ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ Canada ਆਈ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਈ ਸੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਡਰ ਸੀਗਾ ਅੰਦਰ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਰੀਡਿੰਗ ਰਾਈਟਿੰਗ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਸੀ fluently. Actually I was 14 years old and ਮੈਂ ABC 11 years old ਦੀ age ਤੇ learn ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ. That was my first exposure to English, ABC at 11 years of age. So reading writing was perfect for speaking and being in the environment ਕਿੱਥੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ ਬੋਲ ਰਹੇ ਆ And just being in an environment where ਜਿਹੜੀ family ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ just even though ਮੇਰੇ ਚਾਚਾ ਜੀ ਸਨ ਮੇਰੇ ਦਾਦਾ ਜੀ ਦਾਦੀ ਜੀ ਸਨ but I wasn't used to staying with them ਮੇਰੇ ਚਾਚਾ ਜੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ strict ਸਨ where my mom and dad very open-minded, both of them, very like open your arms and just embrace the world type of people, where my chachaji was strict, like you can't wear this, you can't talk this way, you cannot stand this way. So huge difference cultural wise and family oriented wise as well. So again, I was at that tender age में 14 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਡਰ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਆ ਗਏ ਤੋ ਜੋ ਸੁਪਨਾ ਟੀਚਿੰਗ ਦਾ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਕਲਾਉਡਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੋਸਟ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਕਿ now okay yes I had a dream but what is this new world all of a sudden we were sent to farms for berry picking and in India my mom had these workers who would help us out my mummy ji da focus ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ education ਕਰੋ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਸੁਪਨਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਬੱਚੇ ਪੜ੍ਹਨ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹੋਗੇ my mom always believed ਕਿ in this world all these materialistic things can be lost and the only one thing that stays with you is your knowledge that you gain through books and through your experiences. So be accepting of others, regardless of their religion or caste, and just the teaching she instilled in us. All of a sudden, they were shaking because I was in this household where everything was disciplined. So your teachings that my mom taught, your belief system was all like it wasn't what she taught. Like huge shift in minds तो ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ confusion ਸੀ and then all of a sudden ਸਕੂਲ ਜਾਣਾ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਬਿਹੇਵੀਅਰ ਅਧਿਆਪਕਾਂ ਲਈ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੌਕ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਬੱਚੇ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਟੀਚਰਸ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ they're calling them miss miss Chu or miss whatever the last name was in India we were not supposed to do that um, so I was really scared but then seeing the dynamics at home they were not healthy. We were looked upon as कि we were a big burden to the family. So huge responsibility came along with that. कि ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ 'ਚ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਨਾ ਆ yes ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰੇ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ okay here are these girls there are 4 girls no father all of them are young brother is young as well do we have to raise them do we have to pay for their education whoa like this is our responsibility all of a sudden I'm not saying it was my chachaji or my grandpa or my grandma but it was in the family dynamics it was being discussed and at 14 I was aware of it and we were being constantly taunted you drank milk or you did this like, a lot of stuff was happening I'm pretty sure it happens like they had fears too how we had fears what all these people are living in our house so just that sense of responsibility kicked in that पढ़ना है कुछ बनना है अपने परिवार ਨੂੰ proud करना है so to show our family our extended family that we are here for you we are a family unit so school ਵਿੱਚ ਗਏ I went to Caribou Hill Elementary sorry Caribou Hill Secondary School in Burnaby ਉੱਥੇ ਪਹਿਲਾ week is really like scary because ਬੱਚੇ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ behave ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ and yeah it was just like we got into like some kids bullied us as well it was me and my sister our family used to dress up alike so people would call us are you twins and I had no idea what twins meant so but one thing about us was that we were raised so brave that yes the fear was bigger but bravery was huge what had been taught by our mom. Me and my sister, we went around and asked people, what do they mean by twins? We started researching. And so that's one quality I really admire about us that Mama instilled that in us, that if you don't know something, you search it up. The world is yours. Just because you don't understand the language doesn't mean it ends there. So then we would start researching the words. We would start like asking people, can I hang out with you during lunchtime? I'll give you my samosa. I'll bring you samosa tomorrow. The kids would say, hey, you Punjabi, you eat samosa, bring me samosa. I'm like, okay, I'll bring you samosa, practice Punjabi English with me. And so that's how I started really practicing my English and learning the language. And in the family, I would come home and cry. It was just I would like my sister, we both would cry. We would get emotional, like because we were being bullied at school or we didn't understand. It was so much pressure. We were put into regular classes without assessment, and then later on we were put into ELL classes. That's where we met other kids from other cultures like Iranian and kids who spoke Mandarin, and that's where I felt acceptance. Okay, you know what? It is okay. I'm not the only one here who's like shifted from one culture to another. There are all these kids. They're all going through the same thing, and we made that community. Uh, that's how the sense of belonging came into being. And then just really enjoyed studies here. And I would thought it was, the teachers were amazing. They were caring in the ELL program. So reading, writing was not a problem in English. So, we excelled. We used to cry, and my uncle would say, yeah, they're crying because they're probably not good at studies. And you just kind of like let it go, like it's okay. And then our report cards came in with all these awards, honor rolls, and the whole family was in shock. So it was an amazing experience. And then we started liking, we're like, yeah, we are smart. And I was like, I can be a teacher here. So that's how the journey went in Canada. So after Caribou Hill Elementary, sorry, it keep saying elementary. After Caribou Hill, मैं Pasari with shift हो गए because my extended family no longer wanted to be part of our, you know, growth. Their thinking was different. It was not about education. It was all about, kam karo, paise kamao. Where my mom was like, no, I brought my daughters here so they can get education. But my other side family, they wanted my sisters to get married. They're in their 20s, they should get married. So the mindset didn't work. It didn't fit because my mom was all about no education, and then they can be independent and they can marry when they want to. I'm not going to, bya karo and then that's it, and end of life. So it didn't work out. So we moved to Surrey. My mom got a basement. So it was my older brother, my three sisters, including myself, so four of us, and then my mataji. And then started going to school here. The school was called William Beagle. Now it's changed to David Franklin Elementary. So I did my grade 9 and grade 10 there. To baad I went to Queen Elizabeth Secondary School. Utte mein grade 11 and 12 kita. Obviously मैंने पता सी कि मेरे दिल हमेशा पता सी कि मैं अध्यापक बनना. I guess there came a time where I was like, can I be अध्यापक? I have never been to elementary school here. How am I going to be adhyapak? I always wanted to be an elementary school teacher. And so I was like, you know what? I don't know. And then I thought, well, how about if I become a cop? Like, as you can see, I have a lot of muscles. But I don't know. I just started Douglas College. I applied for Douglas College. I think I wasted a year just dreaming, I can be a cop. I look so good as a cop. But then I realized, you know what, Sarbdeep, like, what are you doing? You're playing with your emotions. You're a teacher. You're born to be a teacher. So that year was wasted just taking random courses, thinking I want to be a cop. I don't need to be getting bachelor's. But then I really like put myself in a place that now I need to get back into the where I need to go. I need to focus on my goal. And so I did Associates of Arts degree at Douglas College for about 2 years. And then I went to SFU, Simon Fraser University, and I did my major in geography and minor in curriculum and theory. So I did my teaching study there as well, called PDP. I was really keen on finishing my schooling on time. I don't know, maybe because of my surrounding with everything that was happening, there was a lot happening at home. My brother he had gone to India. He had become alcoholic. My sister, who had also come from India, had fallen in love with the guy who was Canadian, and it didn't go well. She was abused. And we had to kind of help her out of that. And then, just a lot of trauma was happening at home. And being in that trauma, seeing my mom, how strong she was, how she was supporting everyone, regardless of her consequences. She didn't know what was going to happen, but she was there for all her children. It gave me more strength to do better. The reason I'm mentioning this, because my mom would get calls from family members that, we'll give you $20,000. This was common in 90s in South Asian communities. You have 4 daughters. Why don't we do fake marriages? we can pay for your daughter's marriage. And it was really heartbreaking. I remember seeing my mom even crying once, that she questioned the person, like, if their dad was alive, would you have the guts to call me and ask me this? My daughters are not for sale. I'll do 2 3 jobs, but they're not for sales. They're not for sale. It was really difficult growing up, seeing all that. And then just it gave me more courage that I'm going to study regardless of what my family says, because my aunt would call my mom, like, why is she going to school? There are no jobs in teaching. Or I remember I wrote an article for my mom in the magazine it's called Darpan magazine, and it was called My Mom, My Hero. And then one of my aunts called. She goes, "Don't you think you wrote a little too much?" And I was like, you know what? If I had time, I would write a book about my mom. Like, that's how amazing and that's how much importance she has given to us when growing up. Like, she lost her husband at age 32, didn't remarry, raised us with pride and as a strong woman, and never said a bad word about anyone in the family. Always said good things about everyone in the family. So it was difficult, but and then my brother is okay. My sister turned out to be good. She's remarried. Things turned out because my mom was there. She was a pillar of strength. So I did so for me, finishing schooling at certain age was important at that time. That's why I mentioned all that. So I was like, okay, before or by 25, if I don't finish my studies, I will quit everything and I'll just do whatever job and help mom out. I don't want to waste time. So I would take summer courses, I would take online courses, I would work with City of Surrey, and I used to work at McDonald's, and my friends would make fun of me. They're like, "Kam kar diya, McDonald's se chhad de," and I was like, "That's how I'm paying for my education." I had scholarships when I was in high school, and I went to work with my mom. I did dishwashing in restaurants with my mom. Summertime, I used to go pick blueberries and strawberries and raspberries, because like, when you have no other way of income, like, what I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I'm Canadian now, mom, you pay for me. It wasn't like that, and I'm so glad I grew up like that. That all of us sisters took responsibilities, like, I'll pay this year hydro bill, you'll pay this, and we would work and we would just be happy with whatever we had. So when I finished my degree at the age of 25, it was more fruitful. I was really happy कि मैं खत्म कर ली पढ़ाई, and it was all because of that hardship. It was hard. It wasn't like you pay me or you pay me, but it was like, you know, working together. इकट्ठा नहीं कीता सीगा. For PDP, I remember I was taking my last course. I actually did, when I was doing my minor, I did a curriculum and theory course at SFU. And the teacher brought in pictures, like big posters of pictures with students who went to India, they were studying in China. And I remember sitting there and just like telling the professor, I'm like, oh, I wish I could do this. And he's like, yeah, it's a program, it's amazing program. You get to do your PDP, your first semester abroad, and you get to experience different culture. And then when you become a teacher, you kind of know what your students are feeling in the classroom. When they don't feel like, sometimes they feel alienated because of the language factor, or the what I went through. And I remember telling him, like, I wish I could do that, but you know what, I don't have the money. And he's like, it's just $4,000. And I was like, I will try to save it up, but I don't want to put that pressure on my mom. And I just kept that dream to myself. And I would often think about my father, कि जे मेरे डैडी जी हुंदे शायद मैंने इन्ना सोचना नहीं पैंदा. पर फिर then I सोचा कि किस्मत या वाहिगुरू जी ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹਨਾਂ experiences ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਹਨ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ then you shift and then you became that kind of, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜੋ experiences ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ. And I would always try to look at the glass half full, because that's what mom taught. If daddy's not here, maybe we are meant to learn a lesson. But his teachings are here with us. He is with us through his teachings and how you're living your life. Um, so then I kind of forgot about it. I remember I went to apply to UBC. In my heart, I was like, I cannot afford to go to UBC. It's too far. I used to take buses, I used to walk, I used to take SkyTrain. And then my friends would say, all these guys hit on you, get a boyfriend, he'll drive you around. I was like, no. I was like, I don't need a boyfriend, I need to focus on my studies. But it was funny. I remember I came to SFU to apply and I ran into the same professor. And he's like, hi, Sarb, how are you doing? And I said, I'm great. He's like, did you get into the program? And I was like, no, which program? He's like, you didn't apply? And I was like, I don't think I can afford that. I'm here to apply for the regular PDP program. He's like, Sarah, there's one day left, apply. I'm like, I don't think I'll be able to afford. It's like, I have 4,500 saved up and I think I'll use that towards PDP. He's like, I think the cost is 4,200 for the whole program. It's like 2 months in Oaxaca. Oaxaca is a state in Mexico. It's a state in Mexico, and then there's a city called Oaxaca as well. And I was like, I don't know. He's like, you know what? Just apply. You never know. There are a lot of kids are applying. Apply for both programs. I know I saw that twinkle in your eye. I want you. He's like, if you think of me as your professor and you enjoyed my class, I want you to apply for that program. At that time, I felt like, okay, maybe it's my dad talking to me because it's like, okay, in my heart, I was like, okay, I'll apply. He's like, I know how badly you want it. So I applied for it and completely forgot about it. And it was my graduation day, and I was walking the stage. As I finished walking the stage, we were taking pictures. I received the call that I got accepted to Oaxaca. And I was like, oh my God. And I was in tears. And my mom's like, this is your gift from your father. And like, this is exact words, because this is your gift from your father. And he wanted you guys to travel. He wanted you guys to, explore and to live your life to the fullest. And I was remember telling my mom, because the lady told me, the receptionist, she goes, you have 1 week to let us know, because we have other students who are part of it. And so just 1 week, let us know, because I wasn't sure. And if it wasn't for my mom, my mataji, I don't think मैं Oaxaca jandi, because she really pushed me. She goes, this is the time for you to know who you are. Because you need to be away from me. You need to travel. And, you always complain, okay, life's been hard, or this is happening, that's happening. Go away from this nest. आने तो दूर जा, देख तू किस तरह का इंसान है, तेन पता लगेगा कि तू तेरी आइडेंटिटी की है. And I'm so glad mom pushed me, because I said, Mama, I was using all the excuses. I'm like, I don't have money. What am I going to do with my McDonald's job? And, and I don't know the language. मैंने भाषा नहीं आंदी. मम्मा ने कहा कि मैं टीचर सी पंजाब विच, मेरे कोल बहुत बढ़िया जॉब सी, मैं सारा कुछ छड्ड के कैनेडा आ गई, मैं इत्थे भांडे मांज रही हां, खेतां विच काम कर रही हां, ਤੁਰ ਕੇ ਡਾਊਨਟਾਊਨ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੋਕ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਜੌਬ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਮਿਲੀ, ਮੈਂ ਅਖਬਾਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਜੌਬ ਹੈ ਇੱਥੇ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਆ. So this is what life is. The world is yours, and it's your playground. You play in it. And I said, "ठीक है, मैं कर दिया." And I am getting goosebumps. I think this was the best experience of my life. Oh my gosh, I learned. मैं अपने बारे ਇੰਨਾ ਕੁਝ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਹਾਂ. ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਬੈਟਰ ਅਧਿਆਪਕ ਤੇ ਟੀਚਰ ਬਣਾਇਆ. And that's why I'm here today teaching Punjabi. Oaxaca ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਨਾਲ ਰਹਿਣ ਦਾ ਮੌਕਾ ਮਿਲਿਆ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਸਪੈਨਿਸ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਸੀ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਿਰਫ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਸੀ, that's it. ਤੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਫੇਸ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਸਪੈਨਿਸ਼ ਹਾਂ. ਤੋ ਉਸ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ 2 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਰਹੀ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਡਾਟਰ ਬਣ ਕੇ. ਸੋ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਪਿਆਰੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ. ਐਂਡ I always I get emotional about it, because ਜੋ ਪਾਪਾ ਸੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ, ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਫੋਟੋਆਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਗਈ ਸੀ ਡੈਡੀ ਜੀ ਦੀਆਂ, ਆਪਣੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਦੀਆਂ, ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਪਿਕਚਰਸ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤਸਵੀਰਾਂ, ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਰੋਣ ਲੱਗ ਗਈ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਡੈਡ ਜੀ ਹਨ, ਵੀ ਮੈਂ 4 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਡੈਡ ਜੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੋ ਚਲੇ ਗਏ. तो पापा ने, he hugged me and he said, I am your papa. And I don't know what it was कि they said it was my personality. They felt कि मैं उन्होंने real daughter हैं, उन्होंने मैंने इतना प्यार दिता. For me, I've learned about myself कि I'm very accepting. accepting of others and other people's views and other people's culture. And I don't judge. I'm not someone who sits there like, look at that. No. So they really enjoyed that. I, you know, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਮੈਂ ਟਰਾਈ ਕਰਦੀ ਸੀ ਐਂਡ ਮੈਂ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਡਰਿੰਕ ਉੱਥੇ ਮੈਂ ਟਰਾਈ ਕੀਤੀ ਕਦੇ ਮੈਂ ਮਮਾ ਨੂੰ ਫੋਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਕਲਚਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚਾਹ ਪੀਣੀ ਆ ਕੋਈ ਘਰ ਆਂਦਾ ਚਾਹ ਲੈ ਲਓ ਉੱਥੇ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਸਰਵੇਸਾ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਸਰਵੇਸਾ you know it's hot have a cerveza. So I was like ma बार-बार cerveza ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ mom was like cerveza ਕੀ ਆ I'm like oh it's just you know beer या like शराब वांगू ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਤੇ ਮਮਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਮਮਾ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ I'm shocked ਕਿ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਮਾ baptized ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਛਕਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਆ ਐਂਡ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਲਚਰ ਦੀ ਰਿਸਪੈਕਟ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ ਜੇ ਜੋ ਸਰਵਿਸਾਂ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਟਰਾਈ ਕਰੋ I'm like ma it's a sharab and she goes it's okay I'm not saying become an alcoholic but to respect them you try it out and if you don't like it you just say take a sip and say I don't like it but if you like it have one or two enjoy you're in Oaxaca. And then I tell this to my students even today. They laugh like, "Oh, we love your mom. We want your mom to be our mom." They tell them, I'm like, but I was 25, okay? मैं पढ़ चुकी सी, so I was not a teenager. कि तुसी जाओ शराब पियो. But really made that connection with family ਦੇ ਨਾਲ बहुत strong कि ਜਦੋਂ मैं आ रही सी, मैं रो रही सी, ਉਹ रो ਰਹੇ ਸਨ. ਤੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਸਾਰੀ friends ਜੋ 14 friends ਗਈਆਂ ਸੀ they're shocked that your family is actually crying that you're leaving and you're crying like didn't feel that connection with them. ਮੇਰਾ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੈਕਸੀਕੋ ਸਿਟੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਵੀਕਐਂਡ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਨਾਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ during weekdays I used to teach elementary in different schools we go to libraries and ਤੇ ਜੋ ਛੁੱਟੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਡੈਡੀ ਜੀ ਐਂਡ ਮਾਤਾ ਜੀ ਇਨ ਵੋਹਾਕਾ ਵਾਲੇ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਿੰਡਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸਨ to show the culture. They really immersed me into the culture ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਬੇਟੀ ਆ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਫਰੈਂਡਸ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੀ ਬੇਟੀ ਆ ਇਹ ਸਾਡੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਬੇਟੀ ਆ. And then when I left I made a promise that one day when I have my family I will come visit you guys and I actually fulfilled that dream in 2019. I took my husband and my daughter to visit them. We spent 6 days with them. ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਪਿਆਰਾ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਸੀਗਾ 2005 ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਟੀਚਰ ਬਣੀ ਅਧਿਆਪਕਾ ਬਣੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਗੋਲ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਅਧਿਆਪਕ ਬਣਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਮੈਂ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਬਹੁਤ ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਪੜ੍ਹਨਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਬਸ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਇਹੀ ਸੀ ਦ ਰੀਜ਼ਨ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਇਹੀ ਸੀ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਤਾਨੇ ਮਿਲੇ ਸਨ ਐਕਸਟੈਂਡਡ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਤੋਂ ਕਿ ਯੂ نو ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮਾਤਾ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਗਈ ਇੰਨੀ ਸੇਫ ਹਾਊਸ ਚੋਂ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਸਟੀਟਿਊਟਸ ਬਣੋਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੁਲਾਏਗਾ ਲੋਟ ਆਫ ਥਿੰਗਸ ਵਰ ਬੀਇੰਗ ਸੈਡ ਕਿ you know your mom took you guys out of this uncle's house now no one's going to support you how are you going to pay for education तो dream ਸੀਗੇ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ 'ਚ ਕੁਝ ਬਣਨਾ ਹੈ not because of ਕਿ ਜੋ ਲੋਕ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਸਨ ਪਰ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਤੋਂ ਆਏ ਸਨ ਮੰਮਾ ਦਾ ਡ੍ਰੀਮ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਬੱਚਾ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਬੱਚੀ ਨੂੰ ਪੜ੍ਹਾ ਸਕਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਦੋ ਨੂੰ ਪੜ੍ਹਾ ਸਕਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਪਰ ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਬੱਚੀ ਦਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਕਰੂੰਗੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਸੇਵਿੰਗਸ ਇਜ਼ ਗੋਨ ਆਈ ਐਮ ਵਨ ਪੇਰੈਂਟ ਅਰਨਿੰਗ ਸੋ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਇਜ਼ ਬੈਟਰ ਫॉर all of you ਕਿ ਚਲੋ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਪੜ੍ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਬਣੋ and then I can work you can work it's a different environment